What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. We are here by the skin of our teeth, and we're excited to talk about it. Ravens pull off a huge victory over the Detroit Lions, and in dramatic fashion. Just when I thought, Glenn, it couldn't get any more dramatic than last week, the Ravens find a way. They find a way to keep on the blood thinners, man.
Yeah, can we have a game where it's not ridiculously stressful? I mean, my goodness. I mean, week one, it's like, oh, it can't get worse than this. Then week two, of course, ends a lot in a happy way, but crazy as well. And then this one, oh my goodness. What a 4th and 19 with 20-something seconds left, no timeouts. You're well into your own territory. And then Lamar finds what was that, Sammy Watkins to get him into I mean, holy smokes, but a lot to talk about in this game. But thank goodness we're talking about a win and not a tough loss, because first half I thought this was hammer time until, unfortunately, the Ravens caught a case of the dropsies, Jimbo.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ravens, but
Hollywood certainly did.
A Raven certainly did, and that was a bit frustrating, I think, for everyone involved in that situation. But one of the things I think that was interesting, Glenn. And we got to shout out my bookie here. You almost led everyone down the wrong road, Glenn. Glenn's been telling everyone for the competition, the pick'em competition, the Survivor competition, take the Ravens this week. It's a sure thing.
Yep.
And you were right, but by the skin of your teeth, by the crossbar, and by the bounce of the football, Justin Tucker. But guys, go to MyBookie, check it out. MyBookie.ag is the sponsor of this show. With our promo code 410, they will match your first deposit. Like Glenn said, it is not too late to get into the Survivor pool. So go check the Survivor pool. So go check it out. But yes, Glenn, we got the victory. And I guess this is a okay place to start, where the game ended. Michael Echevarrieta brings up the good point. The GOAT, Mr. Justin Tucker from 66.
Dude.
Glenn, could you believe when I hit the crossbar first? I was like,
I thought it bounced the wrong way. Yeah.
Right. I mean, when you saw it hit the net and the net moved?
I mean what a bomb. I mean, he didn't just break the NFL record. He smashed it, right? I mean, he smashed it. He beat it by 2 yards, which is something that I don't think any of us would have expected. I mean, he is by far the GOAT. No questions asked. This guy is clutch. Yeah, he missed the early one, the 49-yarder in the first quarter. Yeah, you know what? I mean, he's a job where if you're not perfect, then you're going to be, ridiculed, I guess. But he missed the one, but man, more than made up for it. 66 freaking yards, and hit, like you said, hit it so good that after it ricocheted off that crossbar, it hit that net and shook that net. I mean, he hit that thing a mile.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. I mean, that was so awesome to see him do that. I was frustrated that the Ravens put him in this situation, because I feel like this game should have been a blowout. But for him to go out there and take on the challenge and nail it, and down at the bottom of my screen, I have Mariano Rivera, because this dude is officially the best closer I've ever seen. I mean, it's just insane. The money's on the line. This guy just gets it done time after time after time. But Phil Wiemetti says, I am not happy.
Right? Phil Wiemet.
Oh, it is Wiemet. Yeah. I am not happy with Hollywood Brown. Okay, fair enough. I agree. But I am happy we got a W. Yep. People were saying beating the Chiefs means nothing if we couldn't best the Lions. Thoughts? And really quick before they answer this, I like the comments coming in early. Guys, keep them going, because this is our instant reaction video. Just to clarify, tomorrow we'll have like our whole breakdown. We'll go through like deep dive in the stats and things like that. But tonight, right now we want to make this about you guys. This is our instant reaction. So keep throwing the messages in there. And of course, you want to guarantee that they're going to be answered. Throw a super chat in there, but we'll try and get to as many as we can. But, we like interacting with you guys on these instant reaction videos. So I like it. But Glenn, what are your thoughts on Phil's comments?
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. You don't come off of beating the Chiefs in a game that I think if you had to rank regular season games, it's probably right at the top of the list over the last few years. And then you don't follow that up with a loss to an 0-2 Lions team, especially when you consider the Ravens were so dominant in the first half. I mean, they're up 10-0, and honestly, it should have been way, way worse than that if we didn't have some drops, and as well as some nice defensive plays by some defensive backs by the Lions, where like that Watkins batted away. That was a perfectly thrown ball, But I feel like that was just a really nice play by the DB, getting his hand on. If anyone's tried to catch a ball that's tipped at the last moment, it's super tough. As well as the tip pass in the end zone that was intended for Hollywood. I don't really count those two as drops or anything like that. Just great plays. But yeah, I mean, should have been a blowout game. So if you come and you lose this game to the Lions, then you're going from, the talk of the town Monday morning, the previous Monday, to now, like, what the hell happened? You put up 36 on the Chiefs, and yet you come out and you only put up 16 against the Lions. I think it would have been a horrible look, especially when the Browns absolutely dropped the Bears, and they would have had a full grip on that lead in the AFC North. So I'm glad that's not the case today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 1,000% here. Man, that was a game. Thank you, Emos. Congrats to Jimmy and of course my wife, Justin T. Holy crap. I mean, that's all you can say at the end of the day. Thank you so much for the support. But at the end of the day, there's really nothing else you can say. We did everything wrong and found a way to win. So props to our team for that. Hollywood Brown was doing his best impersonation of Brashad Perryman. That was completely upsetting. Jimmy Smith came through with a big play. Nice to see. I mean, it was a lot, like you said, a lot of stuff going into this game, and certainly a lot to continue to talk about here. Let's see what Michael's got. Oh, I think you just threw that up there. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Michael says, "Congrats, James. I hope Henry has your hair." No doubt about it. Of course, I will say this: as good a hair as Jimmy has,
Tanya's
you
got
guys
me
haven't
beat by a
seen.
mile.
Tanya's got commercial hair. Like, if you're doing a shampoo and conditioning commercial, you have Tanya's hair as the perfect example.
She just wakes up like that. It's so unfair.
I woke up like this. Yeah. So they right now they got the best hair for the couple. Congratulations, Jimbo and Tanya. A round of applause. No doubt about it. Both.
But I have to say, I have to say that, first of all, since Henry's been born, the Ravens are undefeated. So let's keep the streak going. Let's go. Second of all, that's right. Second of all, I don't know if I mentioned this, but he literally crapped himself as soon as Justin Tucker hit the goalpost.
He couldn't believe it either, Jimbo.
No, I mean, he literally crapped his diaper. I mean, I was holding him and it was simultaneous.
Look, I think John went in his pants a little bit too after that one, especially when it hit the crossbar. Because did you see the look on his face? He said, I can't remember what he said, but I read his lips when in the moment. I think it was something like, "Did that just happen?" Something to that effect. Totally stunned. But look, let's get into the Hollywood drops because
let's get right into it.
It had me fired up. First of all, Lamar Jackson was out here throwing dimes. The Lions did a good job.
Was he not looking good throwing the football today?
Oh, my goodness. The Lions made it seem like they weren't going to let this guy take off and run. And it honestly looked like the Ravens kind of game planned for that to be the case and drew up a game plan where they expected him to be in the pocket. And he was not disappointing. I mean, this guy was throwing dimes. Like I mentioned earlier, had the beautiful throw to Watkins that was just a great defensive play. Not a lot of separation from Watkins, but it was dropped right in where you'd want it to be. It was just a great play. But Hollywood, I mean, those two, especially the big ones, it would have been likely two big touchdowns. I mean, could not have been placed any better. And that last one on third down was, he was wide open. Nobody was within 5 steps of the guy, and he just boosted off his hands and his face mask. I don't know. Look, we just got done praising this guy for how he started the season, how he's been on fire. He's been really, after the end of last season, he's really carried over into this season. He's been phenomenal over the last 10 games. And then he drops some stinkers. And here's my concern, Jimbo. Any chance that, maybe one, but back to back, and then he shows no effort breaking up the interception late. Does this worry you at all that this could be an issue where his confidence is damaged at all from this game?
I don't think so. I think that Hollywood is an incredibly confident guy, and sometimes I guess most athletes should be, but like unreasonably unwarranted confidence. Not all, but I certainly he falls in that category. Not that he hasn't done anything, but what I'm trying to say is that he really believes in that first round stock that the Ravens invested in him. And no, so I'm not worried about his confidence, but I am worried about Lamar's confidence in him. Now, Lamar's not going to say it, right? But it's impossible for him not to be a little shaken by that, right? Don't you think so? What are your concerns about their chemistry ongoing? Based on what happened today.
See, I don't think Lamar's going to lose. I think what happens is, as athletes, especially, I can only talk from the very low level in which I played. That you lose confidence in yourself a lot of times quicker than your teammates and friends lose confidence in you. I think that Lamar's going to be saying, "Look, man, you're still, you're Hollywood." He's going to try and do whatever he can to pick him up, and I think he still has a lot of confidence. I think it's a lot of it's just like. They always say it's easier to believe the bad stuff about yourself. I mean, you could get 100 compliments, but one bad thing, and you start believing that. So I think what's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm a little more concerned about Hollywood losing a little bit of confidence, and I look, it's just one game, and like I said, he's been phenomenal up to this point. Why are we both belching? It's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal up to this point. Oh, okay. You gotta get peanut butter. That's the trick, man. You gotta get a dollop of peanut butter.
Here, try and scare me through the screen to see if it make my hiccups go away.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, all right, I gotta catch you off guard, though. I mean, I can be pretty scary. I can be pretty intimidating, Jimbo. But no, I'm a little concerned because look, we always say on this show, Jimbo, and most people would agree with this, is that confidence is maybe the most important thing to any athlete, right? It makes you play better than you are. And also makes you play way worse than you are if you have a lack of confidence. So I'm a little bit concerned that he didn't. And the first glimpse of what I saw was on the interception. It looked like he gave up on that play. Now, it was a bad decision by Lamar, no doubt about it. That was not his best throw, but it was third down. He was trying to make just something. Hey, let me give a guy a chance to make a play. I'm not going to be worried about having my stats affected. They were going to punt anyway on that play, so it's not the worst, but. I'm a little concerned about Hollywood's confidence maybe going into this next game at least.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair point. At this point, I'm not too nervous about it. It'll be interesting to see how his week unfolds, like in the media, how much he listens to.
He's going to get asked about it.
Yeah, certainly. But this is the other thing. What do you think Bateman, not that he is, I don't think any player that's a decent teammate is looking at his team and looking at his teammates struggling and going, all right, this is my chance to shine, right? But certainly he's got to be looking at it and saying, there's a need, and I can fill that need, right? Like, what do you think? What do you think Bateman's doing out there on the side? What do you think is going through his head right now? Because we're about to get him back, according to all reports, here in October. Yeah. So how do you think he's feeling about? It's almost like Hollywood. Geez, a whiz. Hollywood is cracking the door open for that like number one spot on the team.
He's leaving it open.
Confidence? Yep. Yeah. Do you have any confidence that Bateman can slide in there, and really blow that door wide open? Or what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that before this game. I would have said Hollywood's got a pretty good grip on that job. I still think he's got the inside track, and I always point to the relationship with Lamar, and I don't think that's gonna change after this performance. So I think he's still gonna have the edge in targets. But there's just no doubt that when Bateman comes back, he's going to get opportunities. And if he makes the most of those opportunities and pulls in some tough grabs and makes the easy ones look easy, then there's an opportunity. He's going to get at least his number called more and more often as the season goes along, and as he continues to gain the trust of not just Lamar but the coaches as well. I mean, I think that's why we finally saw Devin Duvernay today, right? I mean, we've been asking for where is Devin Duvernay. And we also saw James Prochet for the first time make a grab.
And Andrews went over 100.
Yeah, Andrews was a beast today. Absolutely.
But you're right. Prochet, that was a crucial catch. Wasn't that on third down?
Yeah, on the sideline. Yep, that was a big time play. So I think that what we're seeing is you need to make not just, you don't just need to build the confidence of Lamar, but most importantly, the coaching staff. They're not going to call your number. So I think Bateman's going to get a lot of opportunities. He just has to make the most of them and not drop any. Now, it was exciting to see Duvernay make that catch, right? I mean, it looked like kind of a blown coverage there. He was a little bit wide open, right? But the most important thing is he hung onto it, toe touched in the back of the end zone. Could this be the start of a little bit more integration for Duvernay into the offense?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's Yeah, I think he should be given the opportunity. I just love when the ball's in his hands. I mean, obviously, aside from the fumble, but certainly he's explosive with the ball in his hands, and I know
your hiccups is hilarious.
I know
he's like a child.
I know. But yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I think he needs the ball more. End of story, right? And I think that he should be given the opportunity to do so. I don't know why they don't. I don't know why. I don't know why yet. We talked to Ravens media members when we went to practice, and they said the same thing. They're scratching their head about it, trying to figure out why as well. Obviously, he had a tough drop or a tough fumble today, but
Yeah, luckily
got the
erased by the penalty.
yeah, exactly. Lions doing lion things. I don't know if you guys follow us on Twitter today, but I tweeted today when the Lions, I forgot what play they made. Oh, the backwards pass thing that initially looked like an interception. That was just a terrible play.
Oh my goodness.
So I tweeted Lions doing lion things, and then later on that play when the guy willingly ran out of bounds. I mean, he wasn't even forced out of bounds. He just said, "Nah, I'm taking a long way, bro." Like he was, he willingly ran out of bounds, came back in, thought he wasn't going to call for a penalty, and saved us a fumble.
Big time.
Jeez. I retweeted my own tweet because I felt that good about my tweet.
Yeah.
Lions just doing lion things, man. They saved us more than once today. That's for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, the Lions, look, when you're a bad team, you find ways to lose. And when you're a good team, you find ways to win. And that's what we saw out there today. The Lions had that game. But look, I mean, we've seen it before, right? The Ravens had the game week 1. They were up by 3 with 30-some seconds left. The Raiders had no timeouts. And boom, they're in field goal range. We know what happened after that. But I'm glad you brought up that play earlier where it appeared to be an attempted flea flicker. Looked like a backwards pass to me. And Bowser drops the easy one. And Bowser, I'm glad you brought him because I almost forgot to go. I got to go on a little bit of a Bowser rant, if you'll let me here, Jimbo. We give this guy all this freaking money, right? He's the guy they decide. They have the 3 outside linebackers that are up for a free agency. They, obviously Judon and Ngakoue go and get highly paid contracts elsewhere. They decide to only bring back Bowser, who got less than those 2. This guy has been a complete and total disappointment. This guy has done absolutely nothing since he's been, the highly paid linebacker that he is this year. He talked about how he wants to expand his role, both on the field and off the field as a leader. I haven't heard that at all from anyone talking about his leadership. Haven't seen him on the field at all making any plays. And he finally gets a golden opportunity to make a play in which we expect this should be his area of special. Like this is the area in which we expect him to make plays, right? In coverage, he had 3 straight picks last year in consecutive games. This guy drops the easiest damn interception he's ever going to have in his life, and he does nothing to influence the passing game as far as rushing the passer. He's done very little even in the run game. I mean, it's just hard to notice the guy. And Dalen Hayes left the game early, and he made more plays, in my opinion, than Bowser did, who played the entire game. I'm so frustrated with the lack of production that they're getting from this guy, considering the fact that he's getting paid way too much for bringing absolutely nothing to the field so far.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, man. That was an absolute missed opportunity, and gosh, you know what? You're right. I mean, he's been relatively invisible. Is there any other way to put it?
No. I mean, the guy's done. He had 2 total tackles today, Jimbo. 2 combined tackles on the season. He has 4 tackles. Jimbo.
But I gotta bring up something else. Talking about players that are disappointment. I'm starting to get a little disappointment in our right guard acquisition.
Zeitler
did you see him get pancaked today? Not only did he get pancaked, he got a penalty today. He was not today was not his day, that's for sure. And hopefully once again it's a blip thing, but I haven't been overwhelmed with his game thus far.
Well, last week I thought he had a good game. I think everyone on the offensive line had a pretty decent game last week, but I mean, it's hard to notice for me. I mean, it's hard for me to really notice the great play by the right guard. You notice the bad stuff more than you notice the good stuff. At least that's how it tends to be.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like maybe it's just a blip. It's the Lions, so it's not someone you expect him to struggle against. But look, they got some players. I mean, Michael Brockers is
they
not
got some guys up front. Flowers.
Yeah, he's not a scrub. Exactly. They got some Aquara. I thought had some moments there. I thought he played well. So they got some guys. But you were right. They were overloading the box at times. They were dropping a few into coverage and sending a lot. And at times the offensive line definitely looked confused. We had some unblocked guys coming straight at Lamar, who normally, and in parts, he did make guys miss, so they came untouched. But then other times they were able to get to him. They sacked him 4 times. So definitely not the performance that we saw last week from the offensive line. And And honestly, shout out to the Lions for doing the best job
Yeah.
I've seen containing the run game of the Ravens in a long, long time. I mean, just 116 yards, which for most teams is a pretty good day. It's a horrible day for the Ravens for only 116 yards. Of course, they keep the 100-yard streak going, but just 58 yards from Lamar on 7 carries. I don't think if I would have told you that, Jimbo, you'd probably tell me what was that, halftime? Like you
Yeah,
wouldn't expect
exactly.
that to be for the full game. So they did a good job in that regard, and hopefully the Ravens can adjust, because I don't want to see this to be becoming some sort of a copycat defensive strategy against the Ravens.
Yeah, no, that's a great point as well. They definitely drew it up, but at the same time, and something we talked about, Lamar looked good throwing the ball today. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that we can find new ways to put. Not that we're going to be a the Tampa Bay Bucks or even the Bills of last year, something like that, in the air, right? In regards to their aerial attack, but
Right.
I think we can put pressure on defenses as we continue to improve our passing game. And I think it has the potential, the ceiling for it now, based on Lamar's improvement as a thrower and the weapons he has to throw to, is much higher than it was in his
Mm-hmm.
MVP season, or of course last year. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's a bright spot that I take away from this game, and even going into the season. That, look, honestly, I mean, answer this question: in 2019, as good as we were,
Mm-hmm.
in that situation where we got no timeouts and, what was like a minute and 2 left on the clock, you're a little concerned. I mean, obviously I
Of
was concerned
course.
here, but Lamar has matured as a player, and our weapons are much better to get chunk plays. Would you agree?
Oh, no doubt. And I think the offense is more evolved than it was then. I mean, anytime you're in a system for 3 years, you're gonna have a little bit more at your disposal than you are year one, no doubt about it. So I do think that they're more prepared for those situations. Still got to get better at those situations, no doubt about it. But they are more prepared. Can't take a sack on the first play though. That about killed them. I mean, you take a sack on the first play when you have no timeouts, and that was almost a backbreaker right there, and almost proved to be until the play to Watkins that really saved their day. But I want to
Well,
shout
do you
out.
want to talk about? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to shout out a player on defense. Chuck Clark today was absolutely everywhere.
Everywhere,
He was
everywhere.
all over the field. This guy had 12 total tackles, including 9 solo tackles. The guy was absolutely vital, and he had a sack where he came in screaming off the edge. So, I mean, shout out to Chuck Clark. Also, a nice sack from Tavon Young today, where he was a blur coming off the slot on the slot blitz. I thought he was phenomenal. But Chuck Clark, shout out to you. You were, I mean, a lot of people, get or criticize Chuck Clark for not being necessarily the biggest playmaker, not necessarily the greatest, in coverage and stuff like that. He showed out today, showed his value today, and I think they don't win this game without Chuck Clark on defense.
100%. Another tweet that I had out there as well was that you're right, all over the field, all kinds of ways to impact this game. You know what he reminds me of?
Hmm.
Gordon Hayward, right? Like people will trash Gordon Hayward because they look at the box score and they'll say he had 12 points, right?
Yeah.
But they won't see that he had 9 assists, 13 rebounds, 2 steals, whatever, no
Just fills
turnovers,
up the
right?
stat sheet. Yeah.
Any way that he can contribute, he gets it done, and Chuck Clark does it the same way. We've been spoiled for years by Ed Reed, and he's not Ed Reed. Okay,
No,
fine.
nobody
He'll
is.
readily admit to you, right? Nobody is, right? It's like, okay, I'm not Babe Ruth. Yeah, right. Nobody is. So I agree with you 1,000%, man. I'm so happy with his production this year, specifically, of course, this game, especially because Elliott went out, got banged up again.
Yeah, again, and this time I think it said it was a leg, it was
Yeah, it was a
a
quad.
quad. I mean, I'm guessing it because he came back in the game. It was probably one of those bad bruises where somebody like knees you in the
It's
thigh,
gonna
and
hurt more tomorrow than today.
I remember getting that. I was playing ball one time, playing basketball, and I was on fire. I made like my first 4 3-pointers. I was feeling it. Then I got kneed in the freaking quad. And I didn't come out of the game. I stayed in there, but missed every shot after. And you know how it is when you're at a court where nobody really knows you. If you make 4 in a row, they're going to start passing you the ball a lot.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, this guy can shoot it. So I kept getting the ball, just bricking it because I had no lift left in that leg. So hopefully it's just a bad bruise and he can get back out there because they certainly need him. Even though we have been impressed with the play of some of the young guys behind him, they're going to need Deshaun Elliott to be a force
Yep.
if the Ravens defense wants to get back on track. And I thought they were on track, Jimbo. In that first half, they had Lions had like -3 yards passing with like 2 minutes left in the first half. I go, there we go. That's the defense. And then it all went to shit in the second
Well,
half.
I think some of it had to do with Jelly and Broderick Washington just ran out of gas. They just ran out of, and look, how much gas can you expect these guys to have? These are like, one of my favorite cars is the Ford Excursion. Well, you're getting like 4 miles to the gallon. That's what these guys are. Right? Like, how long are you gonna last? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jelly was trying to chase down, Jared Goff, and I don't know how many times he can do that without putting the old oxygen mask on, right? So Calais was really everything for us up front. I mean, did you see that play where he just ripped the center from his place? I mean, you can count on that once or twice a game from Calais, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think his younger years, you'd see that about 5-6 times a game. But yeah, at this point, yeah, you can get. Broderick Washington, shout out that he had a play where he just destroyed the lineman and came up and
reset that line of scrimmage and smacked the running back. I'll tell you what, I'm a little disappointed in Brandon Stephens in this regard. Can the dude stop falling in the open field? Like, get new cleats or something. I swear, every time he's in the open field, he's just running. He falls. I mean,
was he
literally,
getting his feet tangled up or nothing? Just falling?
No one is around him. It's like, have you ever fallen because you get running too fast and the turf just it comes up on you? You know what I'm saying? And it gets real short, dude. I'm like, this guy's old. He's a former running back. He should have good feet. I recorded 3 times today. He fell in the open field. He did the same thing in the Chiefs game, same thing in the Raiders game. Brandon, like, slow your roll, my man. Stay on your feet.
Under you. Yeah,
goodness gracious.
Yeah, and I tell you, it was nice seeing Josh Bynes back out there, right? I mean, a familiar face, a guy played in the with the old guard, and it was kind of cool seeing him out there. He had just 4 tackles total. 3 of them were solo, however. So definitely, made an impact in the game. Let's see who else. Who else was I? Odafe Owe, I thought had some moments and had opportunities to make more plays. One of which where he let DeAndre Swift get the edge was very frustrating because I think he was in perfect position. They kind of just gave it up.
Was that the one down by the goal line you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I was, and then the one play he hesitated. He should have just jumped way outside and forced DeAndre back inside. Instead, he hesitated. Yeah. So there was a couple plays where he definitely had more opportunity to make some tackles for loss and just didn't get it done. But look, he's still a young player. Still had 4 tackles today. Still did a lot more than some of the guys that are playing next to him, which have me so fired up. Like Bowser's punk self with 2 tackles today after all the damn money they're getting. Oh my good. Anyway, so still got a lot of confidence in Owe. I'm sure he played more snaps than he's used to in his young career here with all those guys out around him. But the good news is, Jimbo, they got through this most recent bout with COVID-19 and the protocols that forced all those guys out in the front 7. They got through it with a W. Those guys are now it's like they're coming off a bye, so they should have some fresh legs, especially the guys that didn't actually test positive. As far as we know, it was just Jalen Ferguson. The other guys were just close contact. So Brandon Williams should be well rested and ready to go. Same can be said about Justin Metabike and, of course, Justin Houston as well. So next week should be a lot healthier in the front, and hopefully we get a better performance up front, get some more pressure, and slow down the run game a little bit better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is that's a good point. And, with all the sensitivity I can muster, I hope that Jalen Ferguson gets healthy.
Dude, you've had the hiccups for 28 minutes, Jimbo.
I know.
Are you starting to get nervous that you're going to be that guy that we see who had him for his entire life and it ruined his entire life?
I'm waiting for you to scare me.
He got broken up with.
You haven't scared me yet.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to scare you.
Yeah. I just scared myself. I hiccuped while I tried to scare myself. No, but it is distracting me, though. But what I was going to...
Like a baby. Dude, you're going to have the hiccups forever, and your life is going to fall around like shambles around. Tanya's going to leave you because she's like, I just couldn't handle the hiccuping. I mean, every night at dinner, I just wanted to slap him with my fork right in his fork.
All right, I'm just going to hold my breath for as long as I can.
All right, I'll talk.
And you can have your diatribe.
Yeah, I'll talk. Okay, so look. There we go. You're not going to be able to hold it because you're going to laugh. But I will say this about the Ravens defense. I thought in the first half, they were absolutely phenomenal. When I pull up the team stats, what I need to do is I need to start making screenshots of the first half versus the second half, because it was like the tale of two halves for the Lions offense. I mean, how did they end up the game with 7 more first downs than the Ravens? When you looked at how that game started, you would have never believed they'd have 22 first downs in this game. But that second half, it was just first down after first down. And the Ravens were absolutely horrible. On third down, Jimbo, on third down, the Ravens were 1 for 10. 1 for 10 offensively on third down. That is absolutely horrendous. Now, of course,
Hey, but they converted a 4th and 19. That's
I
all
was
I'm
going to
saying.
say they were 1 for 1 on fourth down, so shout out to them for that. But you cannot be 1 for 10 on third down against the Detroit stinking ass Lions, who are 0-3, and expect. I mean, thank goodness they escaped this one with a win. But I think this was kind of that. We were worried about, is it a trap game? Is this a letdown emotionally? I think they got that. They got that letdown.
Yeah.
They were just
Yeah.
lucky enough to make enough plays and have the greatest kicker in the history of kicking on their team to boot the 66-yarder.
My gosh. I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. You're right. Where we did just enough by the skin of our teeth, and by the hair on our chin to get this game done. And only because we have the best kicker of all time. All time. Period. Debate over with.
No doubt.
Harrison Butker, move aside, because
now he's got the best percentage and the longest field goal in NFL history.
Jeez whiz. I mean, what else can you say about the guy? But I want to talk about 8, Glenn. I want to talk about Lamar,
our guy.
We talked about the way that he looked good today throwing the football, and definitely some teammates, number 5, let him down. He had 271 total yards, or excuse me, this was passing yards, right? 271 passing yards, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. 271 passing yards.
287.
287. Yeah. Okay. 287 passing. And then he had 58 on the ground, led our team in rushing yards. But what I'm getting concerned about are the turnovers. The way that they're looking, I do feel like he's pressing.
In that moment, he certainly was.
This one and this week, and then last week against Kansas City. Are you concerned about Lamar's ability to take care of the football in the air? Is that a concern of yours? Should I not be concerned about it? Because I am now, because it was consecutive weeks where very similar situation where in that, what I mean is that the interception occurred because he seemed to be forcing the issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, he certainly was in that situation. I mean, they needed to pick up the first down. Well, I guess they didn't need to, but he felt they needed to. So he forced it in there, tried to give his guys a chance to go up and make a play. Didn't get that much of an effort from those receivers in that area to make much of a play. It was pretty bad decision in hindsight. I'm still not gonna, be too concerned because,
okay.
I mean, that was a situation. I was more concerned with the one that he threw to Hollywood against the Chiefs last week, where he threw it into triple coverage. That was just a horrible decision. Wasn't really that bothered by, I was bummed out about it, but I wasn't that bothered by the Sammy Watkins interception when Sammy fell down. I mean, that's not really Lamar's fault when Sammy loses his footing and goes down. I'm not blaming that. So really, the only one that really had me concerned was the decision to throw it to Hollywood into triple coverage. It was a pretty easy interception for the Honey Badger, but I'm not going to be too concerned here. I thought he had a fantastic game throwing the ball. If guys would have held on to the damn thing, he did have the big miss to Mark Andrews in the end zone where he threw it behind him, and Andrews tried to adjust and just couldn't get there. If he throws it out in front, it's an easy catch, easy touchdown.
To the blitz, to the linebackers for the Lions on that play. I forgot who it was. One of the linebackers set Lamar off his mark a little bit on that play. He still should have made the catch, but certainly I think if he was in position as he had originally anticipated, I think that would have been a touchdown. So, I mean, that's just a good defensive play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But Lamar makes that throw even without his base being set.
He usually just jumps and throws it backwards, like he'll granny shot.
And it didn't have to be a perfect pass. He was wide open. So it didn't need to be a perfect pass. It just needed to be somewhere in his catch radius, and unfortunately it was just outside. So I'm not that concerned just yet. I'd like to see – I'll tell you one thing. I'd like to see more of a understanding. We talked about this all year, like who's the running back And I get that this isn't a team where they want to have necessarily a bell cow who gets all their carries, and there are piecing some stuff together. But I mean, 7 carries from Jackson, 7 for Latavius Murray, 5 for Tyson Williams, and 3 for Devonta Freeman. I mean, I kind of would like to see what maybe one guy could get going a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, ride the hot hand a little bit.
Right.
I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more of a commitment. If a guy gets something going, has a nice first down run, let's see what he's got this drive. As long as he doesn't get tired, let's see what he's got this drive. Give him the drive until he taps his helmet and says he needs to come out. I don't know. What are your thoughts on them going so by committee?
No, I think that's a good point because we've referenced this before, and I'll go back to it because he's a former professional football player, and JT O'Sullivan said, this needs to be a harmonious offense, and when it is, look out. And I think part of that, if you think of harmony, a lot of it has to do with the rhythm. It's a feel thing, right? Yep. And so I do agree with you that you kind of chop up the rhythm a little bit. Now, I do understand the idea of giving defenses different looks and things like that, but every once in a while, when you get a guy going, you got to leave him out there. But I will rebut your argument with this, is that I don't know if we have I don't know. I mean, some people will say Latavius Murray, but I don't know if we have a guy that can do that and be productive throughout an entire game. So much so to where it is better than what they're doing now. Like I think before with Gus, all day, right? Like Gus is built for that, right? But I think we've learned that Latavius Murray is not Gus Edwards. As good as he is, he's not Gus Edwards. He's just not. So J.K. Dobbins, same thing where if we got him the ball 20, 25 times a game, I'm good with it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so I understand your argument and I agree with it. I lean closer to what you're saying. But I also see maybe they're like, well, we've got to spread this out and make it by committee because no one is really able to, or at this point showing that they're able to carry the load, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, somebody's got to take the reins. I agree with you there.
Dude, is this King of Pugo's first super chat?
I don't think so. No,
shout out to King. I think this is his first one. Shout out.
So?
Shout out,
Maybe
King.
I'm wrong, but I thought he's put a few out there. But he says Bateman is wide receiver 1, and today shows that. Well, I think today shows that job is still up for grabs. Yeah. I think that's what today shows. I don't know. He hasn't shown enough to take it yet. I mean, he has to do something first before we give him the job. He's not just going to get it because of a poor performance from Hollywood, but it certainly shows that the opportunity to take it is there if he can take it and run with it and keep making plays and stay on the field, most importantly, because even before he was forced out for this long stint, he had moments where he was in and out of practice before that. So he's got to stay on the field. He's got to practice. He's got to play in games, and he's got to play well if he wants to take that role. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Jimbo, are you tired of Devonta Freeman? I mean, I'm tired of seeing Devonta Freeman
the choppiness in the backfield.
Make a move and go. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on with Lev Bell. If it's a conditioning issue, if it's a lack of, maybe he's not picking up the offense. Maybe I don't know what it is. But if he's not ready, the Ravens just signed Nate McCrary. We know this guy's been practicing. We know he knows the offense. He was with them all
and we know he'll
offseason.
Put a foot in the ground and go upfield. I mean, we saw
and he'll run hard
doing it. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm ready to be done with the Devonta Freeman experiment. Look, if you want to cut him and sign him to the practice squad as a just in case, I'm fine with that. But I don't like, and yeah, people can tell me he had a 30-yard run last week. I agree with you. I don't necessarily think it was because he made a phenomenal move or dropped a guy in the open field. I just think it was a nice play call. It was well blocked, and it was really there for him, and anyone would have gotten a decent gain on that play. So I need to see. I mean, I just think too much dancing and needs to make a decision and get upfield instead, because his dancing's leading to negative plays and tackles near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, certainly. That's a great point. And I'll agree with you. I'll ride with you on this one, Glenn, because our offense, every time we're in a favorable position, I think our offense gets exponentially more dangerous, right? So like we need the 3 to 5 yards on first down. We need it more than other teams. But not only do we need it, we also benefit from it the most because of the type of offense that we have, because then we know that we can hand it off and we have an explosive run, or Lamar can keep it, or we can throw it, right? So like in a situation where we have good field position, we're down and short, whatever the down is, I think we're one of the most dangerous teams in the league because of the diversity in the way we can attack a defense, put pressure on defense. So yeah, doing that and putting your team in, and that's why Gus is such a perfect fit to this offense. Man, I'm missing some Gus Edwards today for sure. But certainly that's why it's such a good fit, because he's only been tackled for a loss 1.38% of his carries.
Because he makes his decision, right? He don't dance.
No. No. Gus isn't dancing.
Do you think Gus can dance in real life? Do you think when he's at a wedding, he's out there cutting it up? Something tells me the guy's got moves.
You seen any of his music videos?
Does he dance in them? I thought I saw one where he was like in a car. And
I don't know. I think I've seen like 10 seconds of one, actually. Let me be honest here. But I'm sure he's got some moves, though, for sure. I'm sure he's got more moves than myself.
Well, definitely, can definitely outdance me. I mean, dude, I got an embarrassment.
And like the shuffle.
I knew that. I learned my dance move from the movie Hitch, where he teaches
exactly
James how to that's where I stay. I stay in that wheelhouse because I'm a disaster on the dance floor. But no, I know. Hey, look, I just see Nana Rave is in the comments, and I know she was.
Yes.
She's been waiting for Soldier Hollywood Brown to drop the ball, and I know she's not surprised by the performance of Hollywood today. I'm sure if there's anyone who isn't surprised by him dropping the ball, I'm thinking it's Nana Ray. But yeah, man. But look, it was a great game. I didn't think we were going to win this game in the last minute. I did not think. It was looking very, very bad. But shout out to the Ravens, because good teams
got it done,
find ways to win. And shout out to Justin Tucker, the GOAT, the greatest, no doubt about it. Now, not only is he the best, the most accurate kicker in NFL history, but he's now also holds the record, and not even close, but the record for the 66-yard field goal, besting the previous record by 2 yards, and doing so in dramatic fashion. This wasn't a first quarter 66-yarder. This wasn't an end of the second quarter, end of the first half. Nuh-uh. This was for the game on the freaking line, and he finds a way to get it through the uprights.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Shout out to J Tuck. And we're going to take a deep dive just for you guys to clarify. We like to do these instant reactions, go live real quick and talk to you guys about it. So as we do these instant reactions throughout the season, make sure you join us. Make sure you leave your comments, because we'll be interacting with you guys every video, but certainly this, I think, will be the most interactive. And we like it that way. We want it to be kind of an open format. So make sure, if you want to guarantee response, of course, put in super chats. But even if you don't, we'll do our best to get to all you guys. But the reason I say that is because tomorrow night, we're going to have our breakdown of this game in depth. We'll dig into the stats. We'll talk. We'll have some questions, some talking points that are like, I think one of the things we'll get to tomorrow, just tease you guys. Is this a concerning win? We've all heard that phrase before. Is this a concerning win? So I want to get into that type of stuff tomorrow, and others moving forward. But it was a blast. We had fun. Hopefully you guys had fun as well. So glad the Ravens came out on top. At the end of the day, it's not always about anything but the end result. There's a million ways to get there, and we got there today in a 1 in a million of those ways. And,
every week seems like another one. Yeah, no doubt about it. Every week seems like another one. Let me give a couple shout outs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tim Ott, appreciate you coming out. Dewan 100, appreciate you guys. You always out there in the comment section. Terrence Hall, Nana Rave, of course, appreciate you. Lisa Ann says JT is going to be Offensive Player of the Week. I don't know. Do they ever give that to kicker? I think that's only a special teams thing for kickers, right? I don't think they can qualify, but I mean, if they could, then he should get it. I know he missed that 49-yarder, but 66 yards for the W is absolutely unbelievable. Adam Graff, appreciate you. Legatron, I think somebody stole that name somewhere along the line in the kicking history. I think someone's been named Legatron. So I don't think you can steal that one, but it's a hell of a nickname, no doubt about it. Carmelo Moody, appreciate you commenting. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and Hollywood bounces back and goes back to normal, because we certainly need them if they're going to get anywhere. Don C., always appreciate you hyping up the likes and showing love in the comments. Brandon Thompson, thanks for coming out. John Gortz, I think it's how you pronounce it. Appreciate you commenting. Carvon Sampson, you as well. Thanks for coming out. Anybody I missed, appreciate everyone who commented. All those who just watched and did not comment, thank you as well. And like Jimmy said, we will be back tomorrow night, also live. ready to interact with a more comprehensive and in-depth breakdown, even though we did just go 45 minutes, Jimbo. But I think some of that was dealing with your hiccups.
Certainly a decent portion of that was dealing with my hiccups. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Hopefully enjoyed it. Make sure to join us on each one of our instant reactions. And then, of course, the following day, you have the night to reflect on the game, like Glenn said, and we'll get even more in depth. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great evening, a great Sunday evening of football, and we'll be back soon. See you.